Good evening, guys. Welcome. I'm Helen. This is a 45-minute fun power flow focused on dancer's pose. So we'll use that as a peak pose of sorts. And if you're not familiar with a peak pose, it's the practice of opening up the body, kind of warming up toward a certain pose. Do that toward the middle end of class, and then afterwards we'll counter stretch and find balance from that pose. And dancer's a really fun one because it's balance pose. It's a balance pose as well as a back bending pose. So it's challenging physically and mentally. See if you can embody the idea of being a dancer, going with the flow, letting yourself fall in, fall out, play with the couple variations that we're going to do of dancer's pose, and just have a good time. When you're ready, we're going to start today in a tabletop position. So right away to hands and knees. You can find your way into your space, spread your fingertips wide, stack your shoulders above your wrists, hips right above your knees, and start to move a little bit. And that might be side to side with your hips. That could be into cow and cats. I'm going to take some figure eight movements, taking my body forward to the side and then back in the opposite direction and around. Feel free to explore the movement that feels good. And as you're already starting to move here, so starting in movement rather than stillness, begin to really link your breath into your body and to your mind. So awareness on your breath. If you're figure eighting, maybe you move in the opposite direction. Let that breath get even a little bit deeper, even a little bit longer. And perhaps there's an intention you'd like to set for today's practice, a word or a phrase to guide you. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath, and whatever you're doing, movement or stillness. And then find your way to a tabletop. Take a little sit back onto your heels, if this is okay on your knees. If not, just stay in a tabletop. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, rise to kneeling, step your right foot forward, hands to your thighs, and lean forward. Full breath in. Exhale, step it back, right back to that hero's pose seat. Maybe your hands come down or they just step in your lap. Big inhale. Other side, as you exhale, left foot steps forward, hands to thigh. Take a breath in. Exhale, step it back. We'll move like that 2 more times on each side. So feel free to stay in tabletop. Otherwise, breath in as you are. Getting ahead of myself. Exhale, right foot steps forward, hands to thighs, lean it forward. Inhale here. And exhale, step it back. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward, hands to thighs. Inhale here. And exhale back. And then one more with your breath. And you can always move faster or slower than me. Just starting to get a little bit more into your hips. Finding a little bit of movement here. When you're ready, hands and knees, tabletop to downward facing dog. Move around in your down dog, a little sway or a little pedal side to side. If stillness feels more appropriate, please feel free. But as we're thinking about this idea of a dancer, letting yourself be in the moment, be present, sometimes that movement, that connection, breath, body, mind, helps us stay really focused in the here and the now, versus on the past, on the future, on anything else going on in your life. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. Exhale, make your way toward your hands, find a forward fold near the top of your space. Lift halfway, breathe in, long spine. Exhale, fold, relax your head and neck. 2 more like that. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, hug your shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, fold, relax it all down. 1 more, breathe in. And breathe out. Rise to standing arm sweep high to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Reach your arms overhead, breathe in. As you exhale, bend your left elbow with your right hand. Find your left elbow or tricep and lean up and over to your right. It's kind of like a half cow face arms with a standing half moon. Don't worry about the names of what I'm saying. Just find the stretch, some space through your side, through your tricep, your shoulder. And back to center, hands high, breathe in. Switch sides, right elbow bends, left hand finds your elbow or tricep, lean over to your left. Continue to breathe. Continue to root down through your feet. Feel that connection to the earth. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold, flat back. Lift halfway, breathe in. As you exhale, hands down, step just your right foot back and feel free to adjust your stance a little. We'll take some pulsing lunges, also known as cow-cat lunges. As you inhale, sink your hips, reach your heart forward. As you exhale, like a supported or modified pyramid pose, hips high, left leg works towards straight. I'm gonna move with my breath. You're welcome to go faster or slower. Inhale, hips down, reach your heart forward, hug your shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, hips to the sky. Maybe left leg stays bent or works towards straight. Let's take 3 more. With your breath, let it flow. Last one. Rebend into your front knee, plant your palms, take it to a 3-legged dog. Left leg moves up and back, big breath in. Open up your hip, bend your knee, and allow a little bit of movement. Roll your ankle, circle your knee to get into your hip joint, bend and straighten out your leg. If you want to flip for Wild Thing and you feel warm enough, please feel free. But we'll gently start to open things up. Ride that wave of movements, of breath. Extend your leg long, breathe in. As you exhale, knee to nose, shift forward, round through your upper back. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower your left knee down to the ground, so it's kind of below your hips. Right leg straight back. So you're in like a one-legged tabletop. Left arm out in front, reach opposite arm and leg. Option to stay or bend your knee and find your foot behind you. If you've got your foot, you can kick back, maybe even look over your left shoulder. Find a little balance challenge. Wherever you are, engage your low belly, lift your heart, and breathe. If you've got your foot, inhale, release. Lower just your hand. Everyone, keep your back knee on the ground. Tuck your toes and reach up and back. This time, right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. And release your right foot down. You can stay, move around, find stillness, or take a vinyasa flow. Inhale, shift forward, high plank, upper push-up. Exhale, your chaturanga, halfway or all the way down. Up dog or cobra, big breath in, open your chest. Exhale to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Full inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, make some noise. Let it all go. Once more, breathe in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look to your hands. Step hopper floats to the top of your space. Halfway lift, lengthen. Forward folds, release. Rise up, hands high. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach overhead. This time, right elbow bends first, left hand finds your elbow or tricep, lean to your left. Maybe you take a little peek up. Maybe it feels more appropriate to round a little bit forward, find a stretch someplace else in your body. Arms to the sky, breathe in. Bend your left elbow with your right hand, find your tricep, lean to your right, exhale. Same option to peek up, peek down, or a simple side bend. Hands overhead, inhale. Forward fold, exhale, Udkatasana. Lift halfway, breathe in. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back this time. Adjust your stance, your low lunge, and then find your pulsing lunges. Inhale, sink your hips, heart forward, really find space through your spine. Exhale, that modified pyramid, hips high, right leg works towards straight, maybe head and neck relax. 4 more with your breath. You can flow them, you can hold them, you can explore what your body's saying right now. If you're moving with your breath or you found your own rhythm, allow yourself to be present with that. Let's take 2 more. Rebend into your right knee if it's straight. Plant your palms up and back for 3-legged dog. Right leg to the sky. Breathe in. Open up your hip, bend your knee. Explore your movement. Notice how your leg feels from your ankle to your hip joint, all the spaces in between. Extend your leg long, breathe in. Knee to nose, exhale. Lower your right knee down below your hips. Lift your left leg, you're in that one-legged tabletop. Right arm reaches forward. Opposite arm and leg, really strong core and back, finding length and extension. Stay just as you are, or bend your knee, reach back for your foot. Kick back, maybe peek over your right shoulder to look back, or look to the side. Extend your leg, release your foot if you've got it, I should say extend. Release your hand, exhale. Tuck your right toes under, inhale, three-legged dog, left leg to the sky this time, breathe in. You can open up your hip, find a little bit of movement. And when you're ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Stay or move through a flow, any transition you like. Traditional vinyasa. Be like a dancer, bust out some move. Feel free to have fun with it. From down dog, inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step hopper floats to your hands, exhale. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, really long spine. Exhale, fold, relax your head and neck down. Reach high, stand tall, big breath in. Palms together in front of your heart, exhale. Inhale to chair pose, Udkatasana. Little peek down, make sure you can see all 10 toes, engage your low belly, relax your shoulders, and then maybe find a little bit more depth. We're going to take this to half chair, or what some people call chair plane. So breathe in. As you exhale, sit a little deeper, sweep your hands back, send your hips even lower. Breathe here. Right knee to chest as you stand, arms around your shin. Find that balance. So starting to work there into that balance, we're going to work for dancer's pose. Steady eyes will help your drishti. You can hug your knee in really close. You can keep it more hip level. You decide. Breathe. Maybe you hover your leg, arms to the sky, breathe in. As you exhale, warrior three. Send your foot back, reach your heart forward. So traditional warrior three with a straight leg, really pressing through your foot. Today we're going to play with bending your knee up to the sky and taking little pulses, using your glutes to lift your foot. I feel it a lot on my standing leg, so feel free to bend your standing knee, to drop your hands to the ground for more of a supported version. To come out of it, you've just got one more breath. Big step back, high crescent lunge. Adjust when you get there. Left hip back, right hip forward, relax your shoulders. Like we did in our standing from the top of our mat, breathe in. Bend your right elbow, left hand, find your right elbow, lean to your left. Keep drawing your right hip forward, working into the front of your hip flexor, front of your thigh. Keep breathing. Reach your hands high, breathe in. Warrior two as you breathe out. It might feel nice to give your left leg a little break, so straighten out and then back to your bend. Peek down, check out your feet. Adjust as you need, so front heel is in line with back heel or arch. Back toes face the long edge of your mat or maybe slightly forward. Reach long through your fingertips. Inhale, star, heels in, toes out, reach wide. Exhale, goddess with cactus arms. Bend your elbows, bend your knees. Hands behind your head, elbows wide, interlace your fingers, lean back, breathe in. Exhale, little side crunch, left elbow toward left knee or thigh. Back to center, inhale. To the other side as you exhale. Keep moving like that, twice more in each direction. Find your rhythm with your breath. If you want to make it extra challenging, you can play with lifting your heels off the ground. And we've got a second side, so you don't have to do it all right now. Back to star, straighten out, breathe in. Warrior two as you breathe out. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, side angle, forearm to your thigh, right arm to the sky. And you can stay, you can take a more traditional side angle, your hand inside or outside your foot if you prefer. Try to work both shoulders out of your ears. And then maybe for the sake of opening our shoulders, you play with a half bind. Keep it simple, don't force anything. Right arm behind your back, palm facing out to gently roll open your shoulder. And if it's there, your fingertips can reach to your left thigh. If not, just keep them on your low back. Palm facing out. Breathe. One more full round of breath. Inhale, reverse triangle, left leg straight. Reach it up and back. Stay as you exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Frame your front foot, front knee bends. Plant your right palm and drop your right knee down. Left arm to the sky for a twist. Feel free to stay here. Feel free to come to the outer edge of your left foot. Gently press your knee away to let your hip sink a little further. And or you can reach back with your left hand for your right foot for more of a quad stretch. Still really early in our practice. Honor what your body's saying. What you need, what you don't need. And breathe. Let's take one more round of breath. Release any twist you have. Hands frame your front foot. Lift your back knee up and back with your front leg. Three-legged dog. Breathe in. Open up your hip. Bend your knee. Stay. Add your movement again, or if you'd like, flip for a wild thing. Left foot falls behind you. Press through your feet. Lift your hips. Left arm reaches forward. Big stretch. Big lift. We'll be back in three-legged dog. Left leg extended. Inhale. Knee to nose. Exhale. Drop your left knee again below your hips. Right leg straight back. This time, like you did in Warrior 3, bend your right knee so you're flexing your foot up to the sky, and take some little pulses using your glutes to lift and lower. So it's super subtle, doesn't have to be big movements. Just play with that. Extend your leg long, straight out behind you, breathe in, and then cross it to the left. Toes down, heel back, peek over your left shoulder, breathe through your right side. Keep your legs crossed, cross your knees, open up your feet. So you're in sort of like a cow face legs or camel or eagle legs in your tabletop, and we'll take cow and cat from here. Inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, send your heart up and forward. Exhale, press the ground away, round through your spine. Once more, breathe in. And breathe it out. Back to neutral spine, uncross your legs. Make your way to downward facing dog. If you want to stay there, stay there. If you want a moment in a child's pose, feel free to drop your knees. If you want to take a drink of water, readjust clothing, whatever, please feel free to take the time to do that. Notice how you're feeling, what you're feeling, and stay committed to the idea of being present, connected, and aware of everything that's going on. From downward facing dog, bend your knees, look forward. Step, hop, float to your hands, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Palms together in front of your heart as you exhale. Inhale to chair. Make all those adjustments, find the strength here, and then find a sense of ease or lightness, always looking for that balance. Not just physically balancing in poses like tree or dancers, but also that balance between effort and ease, steady and sweet, however you want to phrase it. One more inhale. Sit lower, hands back, half chair or chair plane as you exhale. Breathe here, lift your belly off your thighs. Mine's still touching, but I'm thinking about doing that. Weight into your right foot, inhale, stand up, left knee into your chest. Hands around your shin, you can hug it in tight. You can keep it hip height once again. Try to keep shoulders out of your ears. And notice if you're leaning back, can you keep your weight even between all four corners of your right foot? Find your core strength. Bring your hands to your heart, breathe in. Warrior 3 as you breathe out, foot back, heart forward. And then like we did last time, bend your knees so your foot is reaching up to the sky, and take little pulses. Doesn't have to be super high, hands can come down. This is really not working for you, feel free to take a regular Warrior 3 or another shape. I'm feeling it, hopefully you guys are. Breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, big step back to your high crescent lunge. Find all those little adjustments to settle in. Right hip back, left forward. Engage your glutes. Relax your shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your left elbow, right hand finds your tricep or elbow, lean to your right. And notice if that makes your ribs flare. Try and knit everything back together, stay supported, stay connected to your core, even as we move in funky directions. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, warrior two, open it out. And if it felt nice on the other side or you need it here, straighten out your front leg, rebend. Take that a few times. And then allow for a couple breaths of stillness in your warrior two once you've arrived and landed. Inhale, star pose, heels in, toes out, reach wide. Exhale, goddess squat with cactus arms. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, knees and toes track in the same direction. Hands behind your head, elbows wide, breathe in. Little crunch to your right, exhale. Back to center, inhale. Take it to your left, exhale. Twice more each direction, find your rhythm, your flow. Inhale to star. Exhale, warrior two, adjust your feet. Breathe in, reach a little bit forward. Exhale to side angle, forearm to your thigh, or hand inside or outside your foot. And then same thing here, shoulders out of your ears, rotate your heart open. Maybe play with that half bind with your left hand. Back of your hands to your sacrum, low back, palm faces out to really roll open your left shoulder. Press through your heels, feel your legs, breathe here. Next, inhale, reverse triangle, right leg straight, reach it up and back. Stay as you exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Bend into your front knee, plant your palms. Drop your left knee down. Left hand plants, right arm to the sky. And you can stay just like this. Or if you took it on the other side, come to the knife edge of your foot. Gently press your thigh open and or reach back with your hand for your back foot. Same thing here as in your side angle. If your shoulders are really crunching up, you're getting kind of tired or lazy, see if you can open up through your chest, working on that heart opener piece of dancers. Two more rounds of breath. Release your hand down. Frame your front foot, lift your back knee, three-legged dog, right leg up and back, breathe in. Open your hip, bend your knee, stay, add movement or flip it for wild thing. Right foot down, press to lift, extend your right arm. We'll meet back in three-legged dog. Please take your time, right leg straight behind you, inhale. Knee to nose, exhale. Lower your right knee to the ground, below your hips. Extend your left leg straight back. And then bend your left knee, foot up to the sky, little pulses. Try to use your glutes, strong in the back of your legs to lift. Let's take two more. Extend your leg long, breathe in. Cross it to the right as you exhale and peek over your right shoulder. Breathe into the side of your waist, into your ribs. Keep your legs crossed, cross your knees. You might have to tuck your leg in, adjust a little bit. I like my feet a little wider. And then 2 rounds of cow cat with knees crossed. Inhale, lift your tailbone, belly down, heart forward. Exhale, press, round, chin to chest. One more. Uncross to a downward facing dog, to a seat, to a little pause. A little moment to refocus, reconnect, and breathe. Wherever you are, take a moment for stillness, whether that's in down dog, a seat, a child's pose. Close your eyes if they're open. Notice your breath again. Come back to any intention that you set. Dancer's pose can bring up stuff for people, the balance element, the back bending elements. It allows us to work through fear, feel a sense of liberation. And the dancer that it's named after, Natarajasana, is one incarnation of Shiva, one of the gods associated with yoga mythology. Downward facing dog if you're not yet there. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step, hopper, float to your hands. Lift halfway, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Rise up, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Shift your weight into your left foot, right foot will come up for tree pose, then we'll get to dancers. Foot to ankle for a little bit more stability. Foot to calf or foot to thigh. Whatever you prefer. Hands press in, it really helps me to think of pressing to the midline of my body. Or if you want a little bit more of a challenge or to play with that element of balance, you can extend your arms up, close your eyes, look up, add a twist or a back bend. It helps to have steady eyes, a steady gaze and focus, both physically, mentally, that drishti. It helps to breathe, so if you find yourself holding your breath, remember that that's there for you. And if you fall out, make it a dance move, kind of the theme of today, have fun with it. You're going to draw right knee into your chest, hands to heart if they're elsewhere, and then kick your right foot behind you, kind of like we did in that warrior 3 with less of a hinge. Right hand reaches back for the inside of your foot so your elbow crease is facing out, left arm to the sky. And if you'd rather be a little bit more upright, knees together, that's awesome, that's already dancer's pose. Otherwise, using that lift, that strong glute strength, kick into your back hand and reach out and up with your front hand. And you can choose to hinge as much or as little as you want. You may bend your standing leg for more stability. Feel that back bending shape through your entire spine, so you're not just dumping into low back. Your upper back is also arching and reaching, and you find the extent to which this feels good. If you're feeling really flexible, especially in your hamstrings, you might keep hold of your foot. Otherwise, release hands to heart and begin to hinge forward towards standing splits. Hands down, right leg up. If you were one of those uber flexible people, maybe you still have this foot behind you. Try to drop your right hip down so it stays in line with your left. And then release hands to ground if they're not yet there. Big breath in. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Like those pulsing lunges we did before, we'll take 2. Inhale, sink your hips, reach your heart forward. Exhale, hips to the sky, modified pyramid, left leg towards straight. One more, breathe in. And breathe out. Step your right foot up about halfway for pyramid pose. Keep drawing your left hip back, right hip forward. So hips very much in a line with each other. Low back nice and flat if you want to reach back and feel it. And you can totally have a bend in your front knee, especially if your hamstrings are really tight. You can also be a little bit more upright, hands to thigh. Let your head and your neck relax. Breathe where you feel this. And then start to shift your weight forward. You might have to bend your standing leg, hands a little forward, right leg back up to standing splits. It's a ton on one leg, I promise we'll stretch it out. This time, left hand reaches back for your foot like we did in tabletop, or maybe you did. It's okay if you don't come anywhere close. Reach in that direction or not, you can stay in standing splits. If you want to take this to revolve dancers, press into your left leg. I bend my knee to start. Right arm reaches forward, kick back to lift up. So second version of dancers. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You're probably feeling your left leg, at least I am. One more inhale. And exhale, let it all go. Find a forward fold, take your feet out wide, and move however your body wants to move. A sway or ragdoll, a squat. Hands to one side, hips to the other. Tons and tons of options. Feel free to let it be a little bit more fluid, a little bit less defined. Just notice how it feels. If your feet are wide, heel to them back in together. Soften your knees, tailbone heavy, head is the last thing to come up. Roll through your spine to stand. At the top, shrug your shoulders up, back, and down. Let's do that twice. And then set up for the other side. Weight into your right foot, left foot comes up for tree, ankle, calf, or thigh. Stay in stability. Play with instability. A little bit of movement, a little dancing. Notice your gaze and how that affects your balance, whether that's down to be more grounded, up to be more challenging. Notice where your thoughts go, and if you can come back to the present moment, to your experience, your sensations. And simply allow yourself to be here. One more round of breath. Hands to heart if they're elsewhere. Left knee forward, breathe in. Send your left leg back. Really engage your glutes to lifts. So knees are both pointing kind of forward and down, so hips are in line. We're going to try and keep that. Should have said that on the first side. Left hand reaches back inside of your foot, so your elbow crease faces out. Right arm to the sky. Just as before, you can be more upright, knees together. You can start to kick back as you reach forward, maybe hinge a little forward. Keep drawing your hips in line with each other so your left knee is pointing down and back versus out to the side. Feel the extension, equal and opposite energy in both directions, all directions, forward, back, up and down. Maybe you keep hold of your foot, maybe you release, hands to heart, start to hinge it forward to standing splits. If you still have that hand on your foot, kick it back. Release your hands, leg high, breathe in. Exhale, big step back. 2 times your pulsing lunge. Inhale, sink your hips, heart forward. Exhale, hips to the sky, leg towards straight, maybe head and neck relax. Last one, breathe in. And breathe out. You can totally stay here or step your left foot up about halfway. I like my feet a little wider so I can really draw my left hip forward, right back. And remember, you can keep a bend in your front knee or bring your hands to your thigh or to blocks, water bottles, whatever stuff you have around you as props. Breathe. One more balance, shift your weight into your right foot, walk your fingertips forward, left leg to the sky, standing splits once more. Stay or bend your back leg, reach back with your right hand this time for revolve dancers, little twist. Press into your right foot, maybe bend your knee, kick back to lift up. A lot of glutes today, breathe into it. One more inhale. Exhale to forward fold, let it all go. Take your feet wide, move around, explore what your body's asking. And we'll take it to our Malasana Squat, heels in, toes out, sit low. No rush if you'd like something else or you're still working into your counter movements. I like a little shift side to side here too. Elbows into knees, knees into elbows. Feel that equal and opposite energy once more. And then a little lift up and out. So you're not just sitting, kind of engaged, pulling your pelvic floor up to send your energy up through the crown of your head. The same lightness you found in your balancing poses. Breathe here. You can stay. If you're craving an arm balance, this is a nice place to take crow or crow to headstand. Hands can come down. You might scoot back a little in your space. Knees to triceps. Look forward for crow. Float your feet. Or gently place the crown of your head onto your mat. Really support your neck. So this may be plenty. If you've got the balance and can stay strong and lift it out of your shoulders, you can take your legs up. Or just hang out with me in your squat. One more deep breath in wherever you are, and no rush if you're playing or need more time. We'll exhale to downward facing dog. You can step back, you can hop it back, you can take a flow, you can find movement or stillness. 1,000,001 options. Stay connected, stay present. That's the whole goal. All the rest is extra. Shift forward, high plank upper push-up, and then lower slowly to your belly. You can drop your knees first if you like. We're gonna take a funky version of a one-legged locust. I'm gonna scoot back just a little bit so you guys can see. Hands are gonna come by your sides. You might even shimmy them underneath you, bringing the heels of your hands together, so kind of squeezing your chest. Chin or forehead to your mats, and if this feels funky on your neck, just back off. Regular locust is fine, or cobra. Otherwise, one leg to the sky, doesn't matter which you start with. The other knee bends, foot comes just above your knee for a little support. Breathe into your hip flexors, into your back. Gently release, switch sides if you're still on the one. And lower. And then any reset stretch. That could be crocodile, head down, hands stacked, a child's pose, or often we feel this in our neck, so a little bit of neck movement. We'll meet in tabletop, no rush to arrive. And find a thread the needle. Right arm reaches out and up, roll your wrist. Thread to your left, drop your shoulder down, the side of your head down if they reach. Left hand stays, stretches in front, or even wraps behind you. And I know my hips have a tendency to lean to one side, so you can keep things a little bit even. Stretching more through your upper back. Slowly unwind, left hand down, unthread right arm out and up, breathe in. Release your hand down, other side, left leg, left arm to the sky, roll your wrist. Thread through to your right, shoulder down, head down. Right hand stays, reaches, wraps. Even out your hips if they like to sway in one direction. And when your sides feel about even, unwind, right hand down, left arm out and up. Big breath in. Exhale, release. One inhale in your tabletop. Exhale to puppy pose, hands forward, forehead, chin or chest toward the ground, hips really high. Walk your hands back in. Take a moment, whatever you need. Some simple stretches, cow and cat, child's pose, or come onto your back, we'll meet there. Feet to the ground, knees to the sky when you arrive on your back. And as always, take your time. Simple figure four, right ankle over your left thigh. You can press your knee away, your thigh away with your right hand, or you can hug it all into your chest. Add a little bit of movement, take it into a twist. If your left foot is lifted, replace it down to the ground. Reach your right foot to the sky. Big breath in. Point and flex your toes, roll your ankle. Find a little bit of movement. And then a little funky, I'll try my best to walk through this. You're gonna thread your right foot underneath your left knee. If you can, left fingers find your toes. Draw your right knee forward and down toward the top of your mat. And that might be really high for some of us. That's totally cool. If that feels like enough, stay. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, you can place your left foot on your calf or even on your thigh. And I see some people like to open it out to the side, so feel free to find what works for you. For me, I like foot to calf with knee to the sky, and I really feel a stretch more through the inside of my right thigh hip flexor area. We'll all feel this differently or may feel this differently, so really honor your own experience and what your body's saying. And when that feels like enough, replace your left foot if it was on your right leg. Unthread right leg, out and up. Big breath in. Release it down. Switch, starting with regular figure 4, ankle crossed. Press your thigh away with your hand. Hug it into your chest. Movement, stillness, you decide. Notice where your breath is, even if it's a little bit lighter. Can you stay present and connected to it? Aware of it. Right foot down if it's lifted. Left foot to the sky, big breath in. Exhale, point, flex. Roll your ankle. And then thread your foot underneath your right knee. Right fingertips find your toes if they reach. Left knee reaches as much forward and down as your body allows without forcing a stretch. And then stay or place your right foot on top for extra sensation. And one side might feel more intense. When that feels like enough, release, unthread. Take whatever last movements you like, knees to chest, a twist, a happy baby, another back bend of some kind. In your time, in your way, we'll meet in Shavasana or in a comfortable seat for a final little moment of meditation and stillness. And you have arrived. Let your eyes be soft or closed, your face and body relaxed. Feel yourself held by the ground below you. Give yourself permission to simply be. Nothing else to do or think about. Take your time and stay longer if you'd like a little bit more here. Otherwise, start to reawaken your body, little movements, little stretches. Maybe arms up above you, full stretch. And up to a comfortable seat to close out our practice. Palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment to thank yourself for being present, for moving, for breathing. And see if maybe you can approach the rest of your day, the rest of your week with that same element of being in the flow, moving like a dancer. I always envision that carefree friend at a festival or at a wedding, just letting it all loose on the dance floor. How can we be a little bit more like that? Have fun, be present, feel and move the way you want without any thought of what anyone else is doing or anyone else is thinking. I thank you all for joining me today. We'll bow our heads together. Namaste. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope I see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.